Good morning, wrestling fans. Happy 316 day, everyone. Happy Stone Cold Day, whichever one you want to call it. Today is 316, one of the biggest holidays of the year. Definitely the biggest holiday this week, and St. Patrick's Day tomorrow. But I'm sure for all the pro wrestling fans and pro wrestling nerds like I am, this is the much bigger holiday today, Austin 316 Day, and have to talk about Stone Cold Steve Austin today. Can't have an episode of Good Morning Wrestling Fans on 316 without talking about Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I'm sure even people who have never watched pro wrestling before are familiar with the name Stone Cold Steve Austin. I know I've done episodes before talking about Stone Cold, so there's really not much to say or to talk about that hasn't been talked about before. So just want to talk about a few things. If for some reason you missed it, the couple seasons ago, or the first season of the biography on A&E, they did Stone Cold. That was the first episode, I believe. And then you got all the documentaries WWE has came out with. I think they might be on the network. I'm not sure. Yeah, but those are very good. And of course, it's been a little bit since there's been an episode, but you can go on Peacock and the WWE network and watch all the episodes of Broken Skull Sessions. And I'm sure this dog that I'm walking by now is a big Stone Cold fan. Probably sharing his favorite Stone Cold memories. And definitely one of my all-time favorite wrestlers. I know a lot of wrestling fans probably say that, but I remember even back before he was Stone Cold, and even though they were heels, I was a fan of the Hollywood Blondes, actually. Him and Brian Pillman together. And, of course, Stone Cold in the Attitude Era. Stone Cold probably brought a lot of people into wrestling, got them to start being a fan. I remember when I was in school, a lot of people, or a lot of other kids, used to say to me, "Oh, I don't know why you like that." And then they would use the F word, F-A-K-E. But then when the Attitude Era started, all those same kids were coming to school wearing Austin 316, DX shirts, NWO shirts. So that was definitely one of the biggest times for wrestling, of course, and obviously Stone Cold had a lot to do with that. And last year, surprising a lot of people actually coming back and having one more match against Kevin Owens. It was more of a street fight, no holds barred deal, but it was still actually an entertaining match that they had so far this year. As of right now, it doesn't look like he'll be having a match at WrestleMania, or at least nothing has been officially announced just yet. But who knows, maybe we could get something last minute. The creative could think of a feud they want to go with. I don't know who they would put him up against right now. But you never know. Like they say in pro wrestling, never say never. I know WWE actually wanted to do, I believe I saw him and Lesnar for this year's WrestleMania, but that obviously did not work out. And that match anyway is not going to happen. But let me know in the comments on Spreaker or wherever you are listening to GMWF this morning, if Stone Cold were to have a match, maybe not just this year's WrestleMania, but at any show in the future, if he were to come back for another match again, who do you think who he should face? Who do you want to see Stone Cold Steve Austin work with? Say he does have one final last match. Who do you think it should be with? And if he does have one last match, do you think he should go over, or do you think he should put one of the up and coming younger guys over? Because Stone Cold kind of seems like that he would, if he feels that it's the right thing to do for the business, that he would put one of the younger guys over. That's why for so long he never wanted to have another match, is because he didn't want to have a bad match. He wanted it to be right. And he didn't, like he always says, he didn't want to go in there and stink the joint up. And it was like last year, as I mentioned, the match with Kevin Owens. It was right. It worked. The feud going into it. And it definitely wasn't a classic 5-star wrestling match. It was, they brawled all over the stadium, and it was a brawl, but it was a good one though. Austin getting the win. I'm sure Kevin Owens was definitely more than happy with the match. Getting to work with one of his favorite wrestlers on the biggest show of the year for WWE. And Stone Cold, very successful now, obviously has the new show Stone Cold Takes on America, starting April 30th, I believe, on A&E Superstar Sunday. Also, he's got his beer. I know we don't get it here in Michigan. I don't think it's in really a lot of states, actually. He's got 3 of them out now. The original Broken Skull IPA, and then Broken Skull Lager, and recently I seen they came out with a double IPA for the Broken Skull. And it's kind of too bad, because I know that it's too bad that he's not working with Budweiser instead. I know when the first Broken Skull IPA came out, some people were asking, why didn't they call it Steve Weiser? Because definitely couldn't call it that. Too much. Would be too much trademark copyright issues there. Would probably end up being sued, I'm sure, by Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch. But like I said, it's too bad that he didn't have a deal with Budweiser to maybe come out with like a special Steve Weiser beer. So that's all for this episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic, the special 316 episode here on Stone Cold Day, or is it more 316 Day? Whichever it is, we should all celebrate Stone Cold Steve Austin today. Thank you for tuning in on Spreaker or wherever you are listening. Stay tuned for more episodes of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. It finally returned last night with a recap of AEW Dynamite. Hopefully we'll keep it up, do more episodes. Tomorrow, the Friday episode of GMWF. Stay tuned for that. Hope everyone has a great Stone Cold Day, great 316 Day, whichever you want to call it. And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.